With a monthly wrap that ran out of time and the start of a new month, what does that all amount to? It's time for another weekly reading blog. So grab your confetti, grab your glitter, throw it in the air as I say welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. Let's go! Yes, hello, and welcome or welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am, of course, Mr. Francy, and I'm truly honored, joyed, yee, that you have chosen to join me again today as we go through my weekly wrap covering the dates of the 28th of September through to the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September. Now, let's quickly go a little back to the August monthly wrap. Everything was going fine, swimmingly, amazingly, peppy. So much coffee, who need any more? And then I finished my review of No Greater Crime and suddenly saw I was fast running out of time. So I showed 2 books, showed 2 more, and in the space of 4 minutes went, these are amazing, and okay, goodbye. So we are now going to make up for that because I feel like I did those books a disservice, and then we're going to catch up to where I'm up to now. The good news is that some of those 4 books I was reading between the 28th and the 30th, who knows, the last day of August anyway. So we're going to jump right on in. So the first book that I completed on the 28th, around that time, the first book I'm going to show you anyway. I don't exactly remember when I finished this book. Do I have a date here? I actually finished this before the 28th and the next one too, but that's okay because I'm just going to talk about them anyway. So the first book we're going to talk about, oh my goodness me, is this book Faux Paw by Sophie Kelly. This is book number 7 in the Magical Cats Cozy Mystery series, and I gave this book 5 stars. So the basic setup for this series as a whole is that we follow Kathleen Paulson, a librarian from Maryville Heights in Minnesota, alongside her cats, Owen and Hercules. So, despite the fact that Kathleen is a librarian and the fact that we do follow Kathleen, the series is not about Kathleen or her library. The series is in fact about the cats. So, if you're looking for a library series, I wouldn't go to this one. If you're looking for a cat series, I highly recommend this one. So in this particular book, Kathleen and the other librarians are setting up for an art exhibit in the library, but in one fateful night, not only is one of the drawings stolen, but a woman is also murdered. Surely the two are connected, right? Meanwhile, Owen is being really mysterious as he continues to go down to the basement. But why? Also, why do Owen and Hercules not seem to be friendly in this book? All questions will be answered as Kathleen is on the case. So much to unpack there. Yeah, so in the library, they're having this like art exhibit thingy, and one of the most prized possessions is this drawing by an artist. I'm sorry, I'm struggling to talk right now. This drawing by an artist, and that drawing does go missing, and of course there is a murder as well at the same event on the same night. So yeah, lots going on there. And Owen keeps sneaking down to the basement of Kathleen's home. Why is he doing this though? Honestly, Owen's mystery intrigued me a lot more than the actual one. But anyway, I just love this series so much. I love Kathleen as an amateur sleuth, and despite the fact that her love interest does fall into the cliche of the cop detective love interest, I always actually enjoy my time with the pair of them. However, neither compares with my love for Kathleen's cats. The whole mystery with Owen and why he was going down to the basement intrigued me all the way through. Hercules also had me laughing when, this is not a spoiler, Kathleen comes home to find Barry Manilow music playing as a form of revenge on Owen. Yeah, so, Hercules loves Barry Manilow. Owen can't stand Barry Manilow. And so, they seem to be in a bit of a squabble for the majority of the book, Owen and Hercules. And so, Kathleen comes home one night to hear Barry Manilow blaring through the speakers. And Owen is nowhere to be found. I wonder who blared Barry Manilow through the speakers. Hercules. Oh, so good. The mystery itself was also really intriguing. One of Sophie Kelly's absolute best books, and that is saying something because I do generally rate them rather high, but an overwhelming 5 stars for this one from me. And if the idea of a cozy mystery series that does center around cats, these 2 cats in particular, interests you, then I highly recommend picking it up. Sophie Kelly has found a way to make her cozies really cozy, and that's something that I'm learning more and more as time does go on, is that just because a book may be categorized as a cozy mystery doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be extremely cozy. And yet Sophie Kelly does find a way, and there is her full name, does find a way to make her books extremely cozy. So if you are looking for that, then I highly recommend this series. 5 stars from me. So the book that I picked up after that one was the first book in a new to me series, the Candy Coated Mystery series by Nancy Coco, book number 1 being called All Fudged Up. And we have the adorable Mal, short for Marshmallow Undercover, whoop whoop. So, in this series we follow Ally McMurphy, who is taking over her father's hotel and fudge shop alongside her new dog, a white puppy named Mel, as I said, short for Marshmallow. Now, in this book, we literally open up with a dead body. Literally. I remember saying this in my last, reading vlog, but I'm going to say it again. Here is chapter 1 of this book. It's not a spoiler, it's literally page 1, chapter 1. I figured that after 92 years of living, Papa Liam probably had some skeletons in his closet. I had no idea they were real. Not that Joe Jessup was a skeleton, ... yet, but the man was definitely dead and lying in my second floor utility closet. I had an issue with that. I had an issue with the fact that we weren't opening up with some sort of a cozy sentiment. We were opening up with the dead body right away. And this is not a prologue where we find the body and then we go back in time and deal with the coziness. This was not a cozy mystery where we find the body, we start the investigation in chapter 1 and then go back to the coziness in chapter 2. No, this was a cozy mystery where we found the body straight away in chapter 1. We don't know who this person is, who, what, where, when, why. The cops come to start the investigation, and we spend the first 3 chapters, the entirety of the first 3 chapters, based purely on the mystery. Finally, in chapter 4, we get some coziness. So that really did annoy me, and it was just a weird feeling. You know, I felt very upended with the first 3 chapters of this book. So given that Ally McMurphy needs to reopen this hotel in 2 weeks, it was bad timing that there was someone there, a dead body right there. Not good. To make matters worse, the 911 operator keeps hanging up on her. Can Ally open on time, and more importantly, can the murder be solved? Okay, a little more reading. This is page 3, so again, it's not a spoiler, but it shows you the one saving grace for me, given that we were dealing with the dead body for the first 3 chapters, and that was the humor. So Ally McMurphy is contacting 911 to report that she's found a dead body. And the responder picks up. 911, this is Charlene, what's your emergency? And Ally responds by saying, I opened my closet and there's a guy on the floor. Well, not really on the floor, but mostly on the floor. I inhaled. I think he's dead. Is this Sarah Jane? I'm not taking any more of your practical jokes, girl. You're wasting the taxpayers' money. Wait! The phone went dead in my hand. Well, not as dead as Joe, but dead. So she ends up calling back, and the same person picks up. 911, this is Charlene, what's your emergency? Hi, yes, Charlene? I tried to be reasonable. This is Ellie McMurphy over at the historic McMurphy Hotel and Fudge Shop. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Ellie. I'm a big fan of your papa's fudge, but you should know that this line is for emergencies only. If you want to talk to me, you need to call dispatch at 906.555.6600. Bye now. Wait! Charlene hung up again. I'm trying, Joe, I murmured to the dead guy. So anyway, then she ends up bringing that dispatch number. And Charlene picks up saying, "Dispatch, this is Charlene. How can I help you?" There was a moment of relief that it wasn't my mother on the line, although she might have been a bigger help, except for the part where the cops asked why I didn't call 911. "Yes, Charlene," I tried again. "This is Ellie McMurphy." "Hi, Ellie, how are you? I was sorry to hear about your Papa Liam passing suddenly like that. At least he went doing what he loves to do best." And anyway, she says, "Thanks, Charlene. Listen, I want to report a dead body in my utility closet. Well, at least I think he's dead." There was a long moment of silence on the other end of the phone. "Charlene? Ellie? Why didn't you call 911? Everyone knows if they find someone hurt or, God help us, dead, they call 911. They don't waste time on the dispatch number." I had such a great time reading that section like to not say certain words that I don't say in my everyday life anyway, but to rhyme them, this dish calls Charlene. It was a great way to put humor into a situation where there was no cozy theme to begin with. But, I will say that there was some cozy theme. The main thing was that, Ali is trying to restore her father's, hotel and fudge shop. And so there's a lot of restoration that goes on. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. Seriously. There is nothing less cozy for me than restoration. I get that there are restoration cozies out there with that theme. And that's wonderful, but it's not for me. So I much rather you restore your business, then opened up book one so I can see you in your business with it being restored. So 3/4 of this book was spent restoring it, and that did not work for me. But once the fudge shop was open, I really did enjoy that coziness and was really looking forward to picking up book number 2. And Marshmallow was really, really adorable. I did dock a star for the first 3 chapters, despite the humorous laughing moments that I got with the dispatch officer, Charlene. I didn't like how long it took to get to an actual cozy section. But as I said, I am looking forward to book number 2 and gave this one 3 stars. The next book that I picked up was book number 8 in the Magical Cats Cozy Mystery series by Sophie Kelly, Pause and Effect. And I gave this book 4 stars. So, again, I've told you the series premise. So in this book, Kathleen is thrilled to meet Detective Marcus Gordon, who is her love interest. She's thrilled to meet his old friends who are in town on business. However, when one of them is found dead and Marcus is seen as the number 1 suspect, he is now out of commission, and Kathleen knows the onus is on her to solve the case. So to my thoughts, honestly, an up and down read for me. While I enjoyed meeting Marcus's friends, the death as well as its follow-up investigation didn't thrill me at all. In saying that, the final climax was amazing. Kathleen deserves so much more credit than I normally give her in this series. Of course, I still love both Owen and Hercules and cannot wait to read book number 9, which I'm reading this month, in the series. 4 stars for this one. I really love how cozy this series is. And so, therefore, the final book that I picked up in the month of August was this book, To Fudge or Not to Fudge, which is book number 2 in the Candy Coded Mystery Series by Nancy Coco. So after the somewhat hilarious but mostly renovating non-cozy theme start to the series, I was really looking forward to seeing how things would go in book number 2 now that the hotel and fudge shop have indeed been restored, and I was not let down. I also gave this book 4 stars but for a completely different reason. So in this particular book, On a Walk with Ali, Mel, her dog, again short for Marshmallow, digs up a bone, a part of a skeleton. Later on, Ali is invited by her former mentor, Chef Thomas, to take part in a cooking competition TV show. which is always going to be fun for me. The events that follow are spine-tingling. More bones are dug up by Mal and another dog, Daisy, a fellow more bones are dug up by Mel and another dog, Daisy, digs up bones as well. A fellow contestant of Ali's in the TV show is murdered, and even Chef Thomas winds up unconscious. What the heck is going on here? Officer Rex may be on the case, but so too is Ali. So to my thoughts, firstly, this book was so much more cozy than book one. I love the amount of fudge information. I really can't speak right now. I'm so sorry. I loved the amount of fudge information in the standard prose alongside the recipes, which were non-alcoholic this time. Yeah, in book number one, the first 75% of the recipes that we saw, which are, this is a mixed media cozy mystery, so recipes are piece and parceled throughout the course of each book. The first 75% of the recipes piece and parceled throughout book one were alcoholic fudge recipes, which made them less cozy for me, but in this one, they were all non-alcoholic, which I really did appreciate. Mel is so adorable. And there were even cute moments where Ali was training Mel with puppy commands that made my heart melt. I love cooking competitions, so the fact that this featured in the book made me really happy also. The mystery and its sleuthing was really intriguing, which in turn made it sad when I got the reveal, as I felt the reveal was too obvious. For that reason, I docked a star, but otherwise a massive improvement on book one, and I definitely want to continue on with the series in 2026, and I gave this book 4 stars. Yeah. So everything was great. This book was a massive improvement on book number one, but the reveal, oh my goodness, it couldn't have been any more obvious, and it really, really disappointed me. There are so many things I want to say that I would say in a non-spoiler way, and yet that non-spoiler could be inferred as a spoiler, so I can't say it. All I'm going to say is I felt like the reveal was obvious. And leave it at that. So that was a letdown, but everything else I loved about this book. Loved Mal, loved the fudge shop. Why do I keep saying Kathleen? Because that's the other book. Ali makes fudge as a demonstration for all of the tourists that come to her shop, and I just think I would love that. Walking into a fudge shop, seeing all the different types of fudge, seeing Ali making the fudge in front of me. Even in one moment, she's telling a story, which is so cute. She's, like, I think it's about a rabbit. Which, if you've heard, if you've read the book about the hen, the mother hen, who ends up doing everything to make bread on her own with her little chicks, and the farm animals don't want to help her, and so in the end she says, who's going to help me eat the bread? And all the animals show up, and she says, well, no, you didn't help me, so me and my chicks are going to eat the bread. It's a really good book, by the way. Nancy Coco was basically referring to the idea of that book, but with a bunny rabbit. And Ali is making the fudge with pictures while telling the story. It's like, so the bunny started off wanting a carrot, and then, you know, she's swirling the fudge to make a picture of a carrot on the bench. And then with that carrot, the bunny was doing that. Oh my gosh, I was lapping it all up. Disappointing reveal, but otherwise such an amazing series. If you like your culinary cozies, and even if you don't, if you like fudge, I highly recommend it. 4 stars. So now we turn to where I'm up to at the moment, and I am currently, oh my gosh, really close to being done. I am 92% into the most recent release in the Coffee House Cozy Mystery series, No Roast for the Weary by Cleo Coyle. To give you a visual representation, I am there. I am up to page 302, and there are 323 pages. I am so close to being done, but this was the only chance that I had to film and still be able to film this video today, so I had to film it prior to finishing this book. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. Let's take a look at the premise that's inside the cover here. As much as Master Rosa Claire Cosi adores coffee, the landmark shop she manages won't survive if she doesn't sell enough of it. So when the village blend's customer traffic grinds to a halt, she turns to her staff for creative ideas, and the Writer's Block Lounge is born. Madame, the eccentric octogenarian owner of the shop, is upset by this news. Years ago, a group of accomplished writers met in the shop's second-floor lounge to inspire one another, but the group disbanded when something dark occurred. Though that history is shrouded in mystery, Claire presses forward. Soon the village blends tables are filled with aspiring novelists, playwrights and poets, all happy to be coaxed, cajoled and caffeinated by her coffeehouse crew. Claire admires the stamina of these scribes, many of them toiling at night jobs, driving taxis, tending bars and ushering for Broadway, when penning projects during the day. Then one of their fictions turns fatal when a shocking secret leads to a deadly end. Unless Claire can untangle this mystery, uncover the truth, and stop a desperate killer, she fears more of these weary writers may be marked for eternal rest. Okay. So that was a very long premise, but I needed to say it all because otherwise, where the heck is the murder? But anyway, okay, I love this series and I have all of the other books right up there. Yep. This is book number 21 and those are all the other 20 right up there. And there are good things about this book and there are not so good things about this book. I love spending time with Claire Cosi, with her ex-husband and yet still business partner Matteo. Madame is not featuring enough. Madame being, if you haven't read the series before, Matteo's octogenarian mother who originally ran the Village Blend. We don't have enough time with her. I wish we did. I love spending my time with Tucker. I feel like I learned more about Dante. Not in this book, but because seeing Dante in this book inspired me to research more about Dante, and then I realized, oh yeah, he's a part-time barista, that's why I don't really know him that well. And I love Esther and Nancy and everyone else that's a part of this series. It's absolutely wonderful, but if I have one con that is bigger than not having enough Madame and also nowhere near enough coffee tidbits or information. As I said, I'm about like 20 or so pages away from being done and we finally got a little tidbit of information because Claire is making her love interest a coffee at nighttime and explaining why this coffee is perfect for nighttime in 1 or 2 sentences, but otherwise we get no coffee tidbit information, which, yeah, I don't know. What annoys me more than all of that put together is that this feels like it is actually the final book in the series because the company's not doing well. And on the Cozy Themes side, there is potential for this company to be sold to another business. And if that does happen, then that effectively means the end for the Village Blend. And if it is the end for the Village Blend, it might as well be the end of the series because it's literally the Coffeehouse Cozy Mystery series where we're following people who work at the Village Blend. So if that does happen, it will warrant a poor rating from me for about 3 stars. If that doesn't happen, it will probably get 4 stars. I am sad to be up to date, but if this is the end, I almost wish that it had ended with book number, whatever it was before this, book number 20. But what can you do? So I'm umming and ahhing. These last 20 pages are going to have a massive impact on my rating, and so we will see how we go. So once I finished No Roast for the Weary, I plan on picking up the next book in the Country Store Cozy Mystery Series by Maddie Day. This will be book number 10 and it is A Batter Off Dead. When I finish this one, I will then be picking up my first of 2 Magical Cats Cozy Mystery Series, which will be book number 10. Woohoo! Book 10! And here's book 10 in the next series. A Tale of Two Kiddies by Sophie Kelly. And then I will be picking up book number 7 in the Salem Cozy B&B Cozy Mystery series by Tracy Wilton, Mrs. Morris and the Wolf Man. So a lot of reading coming up between now and the next reading vlog. What are you planning to read in the coming week? What have you read in the past week and how have you been enjoying it? I'm glad I had this opportunity to make up for the rushed ending of my August monthly wrap. So thank you for giving me that time. I hope you appreciated those mini reviews. And I would love to hear something sparkling from you. Did you do anything sparkling in this past week? Let me know in the comment section below. But in the meantime, I'm going to let you all go. Peace, blessings, and so much love. Please do, as always, be kind. Love one another. And spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. Yeah! And until next time,